Welcome to another episode of Golden Nuggets, Tips and Tales, powered by Property Finder, the most trusted and widely used property portal in the region. With 10 million home seekers and industry professionals connecting every month, trust is the currency of this business. And behind the 700,000 listings on the platform, there's 700,000 tales of how someone earned that trust. Today, I'm back with Evern Van Niekerk, Sales Director at Paragon Properties, and he's going to talk to us today about how to be the agent that is trusted by other agents, even when you're not in the room. Because people do trust you with their clients, even when they're not around. How'd you get to that stage?
Well, the simple fact is that it's all about being open and honest right from the get-go. When I first started in real estate, I remember first area I was given was Damac Hills, and I quickly realized that I'm going to need agents around me, not only within my firm, but in other firms and across the city. And I said, I need to develop a relationship with these people so that we can get to a stage where deals and transactions can happen quickly, viewings can happen on time, and finding agents that were like-minded like myself, that they knew that if they were doing a viewing with me, I was going to rock up on time, I was going to have the villa open, they weren't going to have any struggles, and they weren't going to lose face with their clients at me,
Dropping a ball. Yeah.
Exactly. So I quickly forged some relationships to the point of we didn't even ask each other the client's name. I know that the industry practice is, and it should always be the practice of, at least check if the name is on the CRM and all of that. But I just came to a standard and said, listen, if I didn't have the foresight to show them that client my specific villa, then you know what, fair play to you. You put it in front of them, and you deserve half of the commission for at least engaging their client. And number one, they've obviously trusted you to come on another viewing with you. So
has that happened to you where
yes.
You had a client registered?
I had a client registered. They had viewed a couple of properties with me, and I remember Ollie, he was actually working with Allsop. He works for a different company now. He rocked up and he was like, the client greeted me by name, and his eyes went well. I said, Ollie, don't worry. They haven't viewed this villa with me. I'm willing to go 50-50. And we did. And that was the most important part, is that following through, not to go and backtrack or backsnake this is saying your word is your word and saying, okay, don't worry. I will go 50-50. This is what the deal is. I didn't show
because that's probably every agent's worst nightmare, is rocking up to a viewing with to meet another agent, and the agent already knows your client. Because now you're going to think, I'm going to lose complete control.
They're going to call their client. And I could have, I could have easily gotten on the phone and said, hey, listen, how did you enjoy the viewing and all of that? And I just felt, what comes around goes around. How would you like to be treated in the same situation? Yeah. And yes, many times I haven't been treated with the same respect, but I will not compromise my values in order to
close the deal. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, that's dirty money. If somebody has put their trust in you in order to do a viewing, and yes, there have been occasions where the client has walked out of the car and said, oh, I have seen this. And then I turn to them and they say, okay, we know what you like, Evan. Unfortunately, we've seen this through you. They're going to deal with you through that villa, but they haven't seen my option 2, or they haven't seen my option 3, which we can now go and do the deal on. So it's just about having that integrity and building that relationship across the city. There are so many great agents that do deals with each other all the time. And there's so many times where, you'll call an agent and they go, oh, I don't work with agents. Well, there's a very good reason why a lot of agents don't work with other agents. It's because they end up being screwed over every single time.
Yeah.
Where if you can show that integrity all the time and your name gets out there, that they say, Don't worry, you can do a deal with Evern. He has integrity. It will always shine through. It's the only way to build that relationship. I've name dropped a couple of names. We've mentioned, Darren Murphy's, we've mentioned the Ellie Streets and the Charlie Kings and Barnaby Cromptons, but there's so many agents across the city that have great product, great stock, but you've got to have and build that integrity with every single encounter that you have, so that you can continue to transact within the city. Otherwise, the only stock that you're going to transact on is your own with direct buys.
Yeah.
And then you've limited yourself to much larger paychecks that you could have.
So if you're a seller, you should be asking your agent, what's your relationship with, who's in your network? What's your relationship with?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of agents that end up trying to pitch their company, and there's nothing wrong with pitching your company. If you come from you've got Driven Properties, you've got FAM, you've got Allsop. These are monster companies across the board, and they've got hundreds of agents and CRMs that are so large and all of. But does that mean that's actually going to transact? And in order for you to have a network, you need to have a network outside of just your agency. And that's the biggest thing that I communicate to any seller is that I have a network outside of my agency. I have a network that can tap into the Allsops. I can tap into Eden Reality. I can tap into Sotheby's with the Conor McKays and the Lee Borgs and the Honeys of this world. These are legends within the industry, and I can tap into them to bring them buyers. We're on social media groups. We're on WhatsApp groups together. There's communication flowing back and forth. I can post it into the 20 mil plus group. Tell
me about these little spin-off WhatsApp groups then.
Oh, well, you've got to earn the right to be in those groups. And
what's the secret password?
The admins of the groups kick you out very quickly if you do not adhere to the guidelines of the groups.
Give us some of these examples.
Well, number one, you've got to have integrity within the group. And number two, you've got to only be posting specific product that you've got a Form A on. Form A is crucial. No pocket listing that you have no formal agreement with the seller is not allowed on the groups, as well as if the admins hear that you haven't presented yourself well at a viewing, you're off.
Oh, these are militant admins.
But it's right. It's right. You don't want to be rubbing shoulders with people who aren't dealing with integrity. Like I said right from the beginning, in order to build trust, you've got to also earn trust, and ultimately, if you're wanting to do as many transactions as some of these legends are doing within the industry, you're going to need to behave the same way they do, and that is with integrity and with trust all the way through. If you go to Barnaby Crompton and you deal with Barnaby Crompton in Emirates Hills, you're going to be getting a phenomenal service. If you go to Darren Murphy in Jumeirah Golf Estates, you're going to get phenomenal service. You deal with Lee and Kelly also in Jumeirah Golf Estates, you're going to get phenomenal service. You deal with Ellie and Ryan in Al Barari from Maria Morris Real Estate, you're going to get great service. But these are network people that you need to be like having a relationship with and building trust with, so that when you call them up and you say, hey, I've got a buyer, he's interested in this, I'm showing X and Y, can you show them A, B, and C? I think they might be interested. Sure, not a problem. They don't go into this whole interrogation with you. You don't need to send a Form I first. Viewings are easy, they're done on time, and they're done professionally.
So just to explain to everyone what a Form I is.
It's an agent-to-agent agreement where normally you would put down the last four digits of your buyer or the seller's details, and there's this agreement to state that, okay, we've searched our CRM, we don't have the same buyer, we don't have this, and we can proceed with the viewing. That all takes time, and ultimately time always kills a deal. So what you're wanting to do is build trust to a point where you're not having to waste time on the
Bureaucracy.
administration, around all of these factors.
Yeah. And one other thing that they probably all have in common is that they're property finder super agents, right?
Correct. Correct. Every single one of them are. There's superstars on Property Finder, and they're obtaining the right leads, and they're dealing with the right caliber of people. So find a network that you can trust and be an agent that is trustworthy. I promise you now, what comes around goes around. If you screw people over on a deal and you try and cut people out on a deal, word gets around.
Very quickly.
Very quickly.
Whilst it's a very big industry, people know each other.
Exactly.
And it's very easy to get a bad reputation.
And that's why, it's one of my biggest factors that I drive within my sales staff, at Paragon is literally be trustworthy. They often come in and they go, oh, yes, but this agent and this, can we do this? Can we find this? But I was like, guys, if the agent brought you a viewing, be trustworthy. Don't be the one that screws over the deal.
Yeah.
Be the one that is trusting within the deal. Yes, you will win some, and some you will lose some. Yes, you will learn a hard lesson along the way, because not all agents you can trust. But always hold the higher ground and be the person that somebody can trust, because it will spread. They will know your name because you are trustworthy.
There you go. So collaboration is key.
Correct.
Thank you.
You won't be successful otherwise.
Thank you very much for those tips and tales, Evern. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Don't forget to catch the rest of Evern's episodes. And while you're at it, why not binge the whole season?